Hello guys! Today we are changing the brake hoses, the hydraulic brake hoses, front and back. We are also changing the brake fluid and changing the fluid that goes to the master cylinder and the slave cylinder for the clutch pedal. This is what you're going to need. The brake hoses itself, I'll leave you here with the part numbers for the hoses. Front and back, you need two of them, of course. You need water to spray on the oil. You need brake fluid. You will need WD-40 or some other oil based. Some wrenches, 8, 11, 14, pair of pliers, and a screwdriver. Let's do it. And also, obviously, on this case, it is really required gloves. Now, the first thing you want to do, I already did that, is to wash very precisely this zone here. So when you are undoing this hose, sand and debris do not enter these fittings. So I use the tray down here. I will use some penetrating oil or WD-40, something that you have, and sand it, okay, up and down. Also here on the brake hose, I will show you better. Now, what you want to do, what do you want to do? You need a better spanner than this one. This was a regular 11mm spanner, so I did a cut here to be able to mount like this, but sometimes she opens. Try to hold it with a 17, okay, like this. I open my, okay, it's enough. So it's loose, can undo it all the way. In the other video that I did about the rear brakes, the difficulty of retrieving the piston, it also have to be with this hose. The hose, it's so old that it acts like a valve, like a check valve. The oil only wants to go one way because the pedal is stronger on that direction. Okay, take it all the way off. Don't be afraid to lose brake fluid. We are changing everything on the brake fluid. Now, with the pliers, take out this I don't know what to call it, spring. It makes us okay, a tight fit. This spring here, okay. Take it off to the tray, and okay. Now be careful. This brake fluid will ruin your paint. So be very careful about that. Now the next step is fairly easy. You need to do exactly this step firstly on the top and then on the caliper itself. If you do it firstly on the caliper, you will have a big hose dance. Now we will take out this very precious spring. I call everything a spring, don't I? Like this, try not to lose it, okay? It's in that hole. I put some WD-40 in here so it's easier to take it out and put a new in. This support here is a little bent. Let's see if I can... Okay, maybe afterwards. Okay, very easy with the WD-40. And now with the 14mm, like this. And I don't have a lot of space because of the camera. And try to be okay. And now you can spin your hose. Spin it, spin it. Be careful with the debris on the hole. the caliper hole. Okay, it's good. This hose is really bad. If you remember, the brake pads on this rotor were more wear out. It was because of this brake hose. The same thing on the left front pads, they were with the same problem. If you have different braking patterns on your braking pads, it may be because of these braking hoses. You need to change the braking hoses every 10 to 15 years at a time. Make sure to compare the new and the old one for the length and the fittings. Screw it in first on a caliper. Okay, again 14 millimeter to the end. Tighten it. Okay, this is a cone shape fit, so you don't need a lot of strength. Okay, now the spring. It's in. So in this step you have to be a little bit fearless and also be careful, because you need to screw these two parts together by hand before, like this, before you secure this hose here. And this hose, as its housing on this sheet metal here. Now, can you see, please? Then I can secure the hose with this clamp type thing by hand. It's in, and only then you can secure the hose and tight the pipe. Again, the tightness of this is not very big, because this is a cone shape fitting. Okay, you don't need to do a lot of tightening. Now clean this up with water, just water, man. Clean everything where the brake fluid go. Make sure everything is soaked in water. You don't want any corrosion for that, okay? And for the back, that's it. Let's go to the front. Now for the front, it is exactly the same thing. You need to clean this top part here. Make sure no debris. In here, some grease or something. Not a grease to damage the rubbers. Take out the spring. Can be in there. You can already take out on this side. Now, first things first. Secure the brake hose and 11. It's done. Now you can take out this clamp. I call it a spring. It's out. Take out the rest of the hose. Don't worry about the missing brake fluid. We are replacing it right away. Clean your hands with water, because this oil is very difficult to grab hold of your tools and it becomes to heat up. 14 millimeter on the hose, the best you can. If you have better tools, great. At home I don't have. Screw it out. 20 years, guys. The factory hoses. Yes, it's due 5 or 10 years. What about the braided brake hoses? What do you think? For me, I don't think it's necessary, because I don't do track days, I don't do any serious competition with my cars. And also with the braided brake hoses, you still have the rubber part inside. So the danger is the same. The danger of making a damage and it acts like a check valve, it's the same. So if you need braided brake hose, think again. Maybe you just need new brake hoses. Do that very well. Maybe pass it here with a, oh yeah, very nasty. Could I clean this yesterday? Yes, I could. No, actually I did not. I was not, it was not possible. Now this turn here is a little bit different. Let's see here. Try to fit this in here first. Okay, so you can see how much does it want to stick out or in. Now the same thing as back there. First by hand, always by hand, but guys, this is very easy to cross thread. Okay, it's all in almost. Now my springy clamp. Okay, spring clamp. It's in by hand. If you want to touch it with this, with something, you can, just to make sure. Now again, 17 and 11. It's done. Okay guys, another one. Now for the left side of the car is exactly the same, and I will do it for my Portuguese video. Next, right away, we are changing the clutch fluids and the brake fluids. Step is to change the brake fluid. For this job, I don't like to do it with a pedal, with someone on the car, because of what I told you about the wear on the master cylinder. I did on the video about the front brakes. I also don't like to change the brake fluid with a vacuum system pulling the oil. It's a very poorly designed system for changing the oil. I just like to do it with pressure inside the system. Sorry, I have little cats. The mother has no milk. There are several ways to pressure bleed your system. There are some machines that pressure. Okay, in the end, all the machines do is to pressure out this brake fluid. I don't have that machine. I was supposed to buy that machine some months ago, but because of that thing over there, it was not possible. But I have an accessory that goes in here and pressure only this little reservoir of oil. I have to take out this oil here, put new one, and then pressure bleed this oil out. You will see. Now you may ask me, where do we begin pressure bleeding our brakes? There are a lot of techniques to do it. I like to do it like this: front left, front right, rear left, rear right. It is the most efficient way to change the fluid, mainly with cars that have ABS. Not only so, in the Alfa 155 with ABS, it is the only way to bleed your brakes, is in that way. Also, on my Alfa 33, the same story. It is the only efficient way to properly bleed your brakes in a Z configuration, like that and like this. And always using a pressure bleeder, not a vacuum bleeder, only a pressure bleeder. Okay, what do we have here? We have here a system that pushes 1 or 2 bar, only that, of pressurized air into this reservoir, and then it pushes out. Even if you have uphill, like in the case of the Alfa 33, the ABS is slightly higher than this reservoir, and you have to push the fluid upwards, and that is the only proper way to bleed your systems. Now, in this way, you can open your line, wait for it. With only one person, you can do this. You only have to pay attention to the level on there. Okay, so yes, on any, almost, in all of the wheels, you have to close it, take out very gently the hose, take out the air, the pressurized air, take out this accessory and fill it up again. Now, this may seem a lot of work, but believe me, it is the best way to do this. Even for the, for the clutch, sometimes it's very difficult to bleed your clutch properly. With this system here, because you have the feeding of the clutch right there, down there, it's very easy to bleed your clutch with just one person and minimal resources. And so, how much do you want to bleed out? Normally, it's about 1 liter for all 4 wheels. You can divide that quantity by the wheels. Normally, you have to bleed more on the rear ones because the path is longer. So in order to clean the inside of the hoses, save a little bit more for the rear. If you want to use more oil, be my guest. And then, now, so you bleed this wheel, do the Z configuration, and next we are bleeding the master and slave cylinder for the clutch. One thing I want you to know before you disconnect your battery, your car must be stable for at least 5 minutes before you try to disconnect the battery. And also, when you are connecting the battery, you don't want to open or switch on the ignition before 5 to 10 minutes. Mainly on the phase 2, 156 and 147s and so on, so forward, because of the learnings of the several units that the car has, namely the climate control unit. So take it easy with your battery. Take your time connecting and disconnecting your battery, and make sure you have at least an open window in case if the car locks itself. I just put a rag here to disguise the noise of the air. I have my hose. This is you don't need to take out this metal tray. Here we have the slave cylinder for the clutch. Open it and just wait. Check always the level in there. If you want, you may do this by steps. You can close, okay, you can close here the hose, go inside the car, pump your clutch pedal, and then again open it. You can do that a few times. It is done. It's not that difficult. Every 2 years or 40,000 kilometers, it will save you a lot of cylinders. Okay, that is it, guys. Now we just put the wheels on, put the car on the floor. I will clean out the car, the entire car, and that's it. I hope you like this video. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing here. See you next time. Bye.